who else can reveal the atrocities and betrayals of Reza Shah Pahlavi better than the leader of the Islamic Revolution? So here we are quoting from their various statements, what he said about Raza Shah Pahlavi. The leader of the Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah ul-Uzma Sayyid Ali Khamenei says, Savak, the most barbaric methods of torture the world has ever seen. The slightest criticism of the oppressive and barbaric Pahlavi regime was responded with a violent and bloody confrontation, and Shah's infernal Savak, organized and equipped by the US's CIA and anti-human Zionists, had prepared the most brutal tortures and the most dreadful prisons to suppress those who dared to oppose that regime. How much did the Shah steal of Iran when fleeing the country? That government was, firstly, corrupt, financially corrupt, ethically corrupt, and corrupt in administrative affairs. In the financial corruption, it suffices to remind that the Shah himself and his family were involved in most of the major economic transactions of the country. He and his brothers and sisters were among those who accumulated the most of personal wealth. In his 16 or 17-year kingdom, Reza Khan accumulated important wealth. It is interesting to know that some of the cities of this country, in terms of administrations, they were corrupted too. Any nation which trusted America received a blow, even those who were America's friends. In our county, Dr. Mossadegh trusted and relied on the Americans so that he could free himself from the pressure of the English. Instead of helping Dr. Mossadegh, who had trusted them, the Americans allied themselves with the English. The Tagat, tyrannical regime of Pahlavi had a very close relationship with the United States. However, the US's greed had exhausted them as well. As I said, they imposed capitulation, the judicial immunity of US agents, on this regime, and they had to accept it. They threw Mohammad Reza out of their country after he fled from Iran and spent a short time in America. They did not let him stay. They did not show even this bit of loyalty to him. They are such people. In what era were Iranian MPs appointed by the US and Britain? Before the victory of the Islamic Revolution, the Iranian people were deprived of their right to elect. The right to elect and the opportunity to take part in handling the affairs of their country were vested in the Iranian people by the Islamic Revolution. Foreign powers usually installed our high-ranking officials. The United States and other enemies of the Iranian nation are trying to restore in Iran the same dark dictatorship that existed under the Pahlavi regime, but in a new and modern guise, and make this country once again dependent on outside powers. However, our nation is going to keep its presence on the scene and, as always, foil the enemies in their attempts. Historic humiliation of Shah of Iran by Churchill, Roosevelt and Stalin. Even in the area of safeguarding our territorial integrity and independence of our governments, we witnessed and experienced shameful weakness over the 200-year period. It was during the same period that the two disgraceful treaties, the Treaty of Turkmenchay and the Treaty of Gulistan, were signed and 17 Caucasian cities broke away from Iran. It was during the same period that they came and occupied Bushehr, without facing the slightest resistance from our government and government officials. It was during the same period that a foreign government established a military base in Qazvin, and threatened our central government with military invasion. They ordered our government to do certain things and to remove certain people from official positions, and they threatened that they would attack Tehran if their orders were not carried out. That is to say, they came as close as Qazvin and threatened Tehran with military invasion, and the central government in Tehran was trembling with fear. If it were not for a few competent people, our central government would have definitely complied with the orders of that foreign government. It was during the same period that the English government established the Pahlavi regime in Iran. They chose Reza Khan and crowned him. It was during this period that the allied leaders of 3 countries came to Tehran and held a meeting without asking our central government for permission. They completely ignored our central government. Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin traveled to Tehran and held a meeting. They did not ask anybody for permission and they did not show any passports. Mohammad Reza Shah, who was the king of Iran at that time, was completely ignored. They did not go to see him. He was the one who went to see them, and when he entered the room, they did not stand up. They ignored him. Notice the consequences of a central government's weakness, which affects the people. Shah of Iran would ask US for permission even for appointing a minister. The country was politically dependent before the revolution. That is to say, the government, both Mohammad Reza Shah and different governmental organizations, obeyed the US. They were just waiting for America to make a move. Again, there is overwhelming evidence in this regard. They obeyed America, and before America they obeyed England. It was the English who brought Reza Khan to power. When they realized that he was no longer useful to them, they fired him. They forced him out of the country and put his son in power. This was our situation before the revolution. The revolution came and brought full political independence for the country.